All right, my friends, welcome to episode 142 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Professor Larry at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Over there is Anthony the Dev at Summer Speak. Let's do our weekly E3 check-in. How's it going over there?
Okay. It's been busy. Very busy.
Mm-hmm. How much have you slept in the last week?
Oh, I get my sleep. I make, my normal amount of sleep, 6 to 7 hours a night. So
yeah, that sounds heavenly.
But the days are full of a lot. And then a lot of times after the kids go to bed, I'm still working on things.
Right.
Sometimes not because I have to, but because, I just have things in my head that I want to get out and finish. So
right. And then when's the drop dead date for work you're doing? Is it
Friday?
Okay, Friday this week. Okay.
Yeah. Need to have a very good, clean build of what we're gonna maybe present to some people, basically. So
right. And you feel like you're 90% there, or 80?
Yeah. No, we've been doing playtests, and it is playable in a rudimentary form, but we can play in a full game in a basic form, and which is great for iteration because we're definitely playing and then all of us spouting off a ton of ideas and things to change and adjust. So we're at that point where it's great because you just feel like you're past all the major setup hurdles, and now it's literally just play, iterate. Sometimes the iterations are kind of big, but that's what it is right now. So it's fun. A lot of work, but a lot of fun.
And the people who are going to look at this demo, will they get hands-on, or will they see you kind of? Or
it depends on who.
Yeah, but they'll get a chance to see how fun it is. But the loop is there, I'm sure.
Yeah, the loop is there. Yeah.
And then are you in any danger of being sued by PUBG Corp in South Korea based on the UI?
Yes, exactly. We're gonna dive into that battle royale format.
Oh wow!
I can't believe that. Well, they sued in South Korea. I can completely believe that.
And they sued in South Korea in January, so it was a while ago.
Yeah, that thing's gonna take forever to work its way through the legal system. International lawsuits take forever. So yeah, which is really funny because the PUBG developer, they're owned, or at least a big investment by Tencent, right? Thought I read that.
Probably. I know Epic is,
and Epic is 40-50%, owned by Tencent. I'm like, is this Tencent suing themselves?
Yeah, I guess in a way, huh?
In a weird way, yeah. We'll see how this all works out. I actually probably, I only give it a 30% chance of actually going to trial. It will be settled outside of court. No one wants to go to discovery or any of that junk.
Of course.
And there's the history of the, is it Bluehole? The PUBG company? Bluehole doesn't want to lose this lawsuit. We have a history of, there was a games company, they did the game Too Human and something else, and they sued Epic.
And then
Epic countersued. They lost. Epic won, revoked their Unreal license.
Right.
Which meant they couldn't sell any of their games anymore. Right. And they actually had to recall every game that was still on store shelves and destroy them.
Whoa.
It was super. I'm like, yeah, you don't do that. You better have a bulletproof case if you're going to try to do this, because that can happen. So what happens if they do this? They lose, and Epic's like, we're revoking your license for this engine. Bye.
You can't sell it at all anymore. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah,
it seems pretty risky, but I feel like they lost out or in some way to the market share.
Oh, they totally did. Considering there was I think it was Friday, middle of the day, there was some Fortnite tournament, and Twitch, there was over 500,000 people watching Fortnite on Twitch.
Holy shit. That's a lot of eyeballs.
In the middle of a day on a Friday.
Right. Those kids should be in class learning things, but they're on their phones watching Twitch.
Yeah. So there you go.
Probably. Man, if we had Twitch when we were in high school.
Oh, God. Well, no, our Twitch was just sitting with each other at someone's house watching them play games.
That's true. Or sitting in class playing Drug Wars on our TI.
Yeah.
Snake or something. Oh man, we're old. Speaking of old, one of our oldest traditions is E3, and we have had some episodes about leading up to E3. We've done third parties, we've done Sony, Nintendo, Xbox, and this episode we're just going to throw out each 5 somewhat crazy, or in your case, super crazy predictions, just to see, I don't know, our final say on kind of things we want to see or hope to see, or it'd be crazy if we saw at E3, which is next week. I guess next Sunday, right? A week from today.
Well, that's when the events start.
Bethesda.
Yeah.
Bethesda. No, EA is Saturday? Is that right?
EA is the 9th, which is Saturday.
Yep. Okay, so EA, week from yesterday, I guess.
Yeah.
Although the actual E3 doesn't start till later, but basically, I feel like it's already started, because we're going to start this episode by talking about shit that's already been announced. They're trying to get out ahead of, I don't know, the din of E3 and get some of their news heard.
And make excitement so people will pay attention to them.
Yeah, exactly. Then we'll get into our 5 predictions. We'll move on to Chrono Trigger, which we've both been playing quite a bit. We'll finish with things we've been playing, and my finals are over, so I've been playing a couple of things, actually. So it should be a pretty exciting episode. We'll start with those announcements, though. There's been quite a few. I kind of want to start with like the one announcement in the last week that you thought was awesome, if there was one.
Awesome.
That you were excited about.
There's 2 that I'm actually excited about, which is AC Odyssey.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
That the stuff with the AC games I'm finding now is the ones that really interest me are the ones that I have like historical interest in.
Mm-hmm.
And shockingly, Italy I really enjoyed. And yeah, Greek area and any kind of the Greek civilization stuff. I'm like, yep, let's do this.
You'll be kind of getting the best of both worlds, the history you like, plus the systems and origins that you skipped, but were awesome. So that's great.
Hopefully it's just a very refined origins.
It sounds like, they're on what I read, 3-year cycle. So obviously they haven't been working since Origins. I mean, they've continued to work, but they didn't start when Origins was finished. So they've been in parallel in some way. But I guess the polishing up in the last year has picked some things up from Origins. But also they've instituted some sort of dialogue system where you can make choices, like a Mass Effect kind of thing.
Oh.
Branching dialogue.
That's new.
That's definitely new. So the buzz is Origins plus Greek plus deeper RPG systems.
Sold. Let's do this.
Yeah, fucking. That's my number 1. I'm so excited for that.
Number 2 for me is Fallout 76. Only because I'm curious about that. Like, It's piqued my curiosity on, because it's not 5. It's all the rumors is it's that online survival, something akin to like Rust, maybe,
right,
or Ark, but with Fallout. That's the first type of one of those games where I'm like, I might play that just to experiment. I assume taking base building stuff from like 4. I don't know. It is the one that's piqued my interest, where I want to just see more of it.
Well, that's I totally lost my train of thought. Sorry. Well, I have a sleep deprived brain going on right now.
So.
Oh yeah, no. I remember what I was gonna say. Of all the ones that I've seen, it's the one with the setting that makes the most sense to me for that kind of survival game. Yes. Because it's apparently 20 years after the war. So this is like the first
one of the first vaults to open.
Exactly. So they really are trying to survive in this new crazy world.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it was unexpected to me. I was not expecting anything beyond a like Fallout 3 remaster or something.
Yeah, I wonder if that's still happening.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, because this isn't on the Switch. I really think they want to put some Fallout on the Switch.
Yeah, and they've got the engine on. I assume it's the same engine that Skyrim is running on. So
roughly, yeah.
Yeah, they have games running on it. So I would love to see a Fallout 3 New Vegas collection. I think I'd probably snap that one up.
It probably will not have New Vegas.
You don't think so? Just Fallout 3?
No, just Fallout 3.
Because of Obsidian? Or? No, that's Bethesda would own it.
Well, it was Bethesda. Obsidian, well, it was on the same engine, but Obsidian made it.
Right. But
I just don't think, like, Bethesda doesn't really acknowledge New Vegas all that much.
Huh, okay.
I mean, it was it's not an expansion, but it's a thing. I wouldn't expect to see them both bundled together. The most I would see is if a remaster does well, you might see a New Vegas remastered later.
Oh, okay. So this is our game. Here it is, Fallout 3.
Yes.
Would you play it again on Switch?
Yeah, I think I would. I think it's been a long enough time that I would go back and revisit that one.
Yeah.
So we'll see on that stuff. Talking about Bethesda, they announced Rage 2. I don't care. I didn't care about the first Rage. I really don't care about Rage 2. So
yeah.
And then we got the Pokemon stuff this week.
That was a pretty big news blowout. Interestingly done with just Japanese only. Most of us were reading about it on Twitter. There was no like English language direct or anything like that.
So
a lot of translation.
We got Pokemon Quest that dropped that day, which is this mobile phone-like game that's on the Switch first. Right. Basically, it's just a grindy, power up your Pokemon, take them on expeditions, fight against other Pokemon. Kind of automated action RPG in some ways.
Yeah, someone was saying you just auto battle, right?
You can. But it's basically, you don't move, you like make a team of Pokemon, of 3 Pokemon. You send them out on an expedition, and they start wandering around. It's all block style. And they wander around. You don't tell them where they go. They just move towards enemies. And then you can use their special abilities on cooldowns. So you're juggling the interaction is juggling cooldowns.
That sounds very much like a mobile game.
It is very much a mobile game. And then you finish and you get loot and items. And it has I wouldn't say deep RPG experience, but there is a bunch of RPG stuff there. Your Pokemon gain levels, their stats go up. You get items to equip on them to make them stronger and they unlock more slots as they level up on things that can equip. And you can equip stuff to their powers to augment their powers to make them recharge faster, do more damage, higher crit rates. So it's a grindy RPG. It's a mobile grind RPG just on Switch. And my kids are all for it. So whatever. Don't care.
Do you play or do they play?
I have played. I'm pretty sure the next time my son gets Switch time, he will play himself on his account.
Right.
I think his coordination and mental capacity, he could do this game just fine. And I think he knows that and kind of wants to do it. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
That's one thing that came out of all that Pokemon stuff.
Yeah, the next big thing was Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, which was rumored or hinted at for quite a while. And it looks like it's a marriage of Pokemon Go mechanics with a little bit of the Pokemon RPG.
The core Pokemon game.
Exactly.
But it's not a core game.
Right.
Like, it's a holdover.
It's smart, though. Like, it looks good, and it brings in the casual Pokemon Go people who are like, hey, let's try this other thing out. And then
take your Pokemon from Go to it.
Right.
Like that. That's crazy.
And they have this Poke controller or whatever the heck it's called.
Oh my god.
Well, you can control the whole game with one Joy-Con, so it makes sense to just have like this ball with a button.
It makes me. Did you see the thing that they want to see the first person that's going to beat Dark Souls remastered using a Pokeball?
It was almost as quickly as that news came out, someone made that joke.
I was like, and it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
I actually can probably point to some Twitch streamers I watched that will take that challenge on.
I think someone beat it with the Donkey Kongas, right? The bongos, whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Crazy people out there. I haven't even touched Dark Souls, so.
Well, you can get Dark Souls remastered now.
One day when it comes to Switch.
No, that's August, I think, when it comes to Switch.
It was supposed to be 25th of May. And then it got delayed. So
yeah,
I haven't heard the new date yet. So maybe I'll have to play Bloodborne first.
Yeah, and the other info that came out of that was that the next core Pokemon RPG is 2019.
It was very quickly we know you're freaking out. This is not what you wanted. It's coming soon. Just hold on.
It's gonna take them a time to make that thing. So there you go. But look you get through this year with the Switch gets some Pokemon stuff this year. You don't have to wait another year.
And that's going to sell systems.
Yes.
In November.
Yes, it
For
will.
Sure.
It's great.
Is this a game that you're looking at getting?
I'll probably get it.
Mm-hmm.
Less for me. Yeah, the kids will love it. So
yeah.
and I'll enjoy it enough. So,
It seems like the simpler mechanics, easier to get into. I might check it out. I'm not sure. I've never played a Pokemon, so I don't know. Maybe not the one to start with.
I don't know. I would just get one of the Sun and Moons. Go with one of the
Ultra Sun and Moon.
It's you play it. I hadn't played one before, and you play it, and you're like, I get why these are like best-selling games. Mm-hmm. They're simple JRPGs, but very compelling. So I get it now, and while the Let's Go isn't the most exciting thing for me, I think it will just be fun. The next core one I'm very excited for.
Good. Well, I think the Let's Go stuff is exciting because the more Switches that are out there, the more third parties and other, IP holders are like, let's get our stuff on Switch.
Yeah.
So
well, we've already seen. I've seen some stats from indie devs that are just showing that their Switch sales are just really high in comparison to other platforms.
Yeah, there's one recently. I can't remember which game it was. Wolverblade, maybe, or someone else.
They're showing. They're like, look at here. We're not going to put numbers to it.
Right, but just look at how big the bars are.
Yeah, look at the bars. These are comparative. And you're like, the Switch sales were more than like all the others combined.
Well, and that post mentioned too, like, yeah, we've got on a lot of people wish listed us on Steam, but that just means they're going to wait till we go on sale. Yeah. So that's, hopefully they'll convert one day, but yeah, Switch is just where it's at.
The Switch audience wants to actually play games now.
And buy them now, exactly right, which it just seems like such a, in hindsight, a smart strategy for Nintendo to do what they've been doing this year about releasing the remasters, because people like me who had the Wii U, like, they are interesting, but I've played all those games on Wii U, so I'm not going to buy those, so I've purchased some smaller games. Battlechasers recently, and then also Celeste. So there's been a lot of good indie games to fill in the catalog, really. Some shovelware as well, but there have been a lot of good games coming out.
And you get to play them portable. So
man,
that's the killer part.
When we get to what we're playing, like I'm going to expand on that a little bit.
All right.
But yeah, it's been a good year so far, and it sounds like the back half is going to be really strong. First party, Smash, Pokemon, please God, Fire Emblem, please don't fucking delay that.
So from our Nintendo episode, a lot of the stuff that was on that sheet is coming true.
True. That's true. And there was one leak after that was a PowerPoint kind of tiles. And
it's the Fortnite. It had Fortnite on it.
Exactly. And Paladins. It had Paladins. It had Dragon Ball Fighters. A lot of people in the industry were saying one. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was Fortnite and the Dragon Ball Fighter, which were also on that leaked sheet before.
Right. Some podcasts I've been listening to were comparing those two leaks and saying the second one with like the pictures, the squares or whatever, that one's legit because that's how the industry like gets ready. Like it's always PowerPoint slides, all that kind of stuff. It's not really like a Word document list.
No, that's not true.
That's what the several podcasts were talking about.
From a person who's actually in the industry, that is not true at all.
Well, the people. Okay, I believe you definitely.
There is a PowerPoint. Yes, eventually you get to PowerPoints, and the PowerPoints are one thing. But whenever you're giving stuff to just people in a meeting, like roundtable or just stuff, it's not going to be that fancy.
It's just straight up words on a piece of paper.
Yeah, why not? You don't need a PowerPoint. You don't have to do a big presentation whenever it might just be a group sitting around going like, hey, let's check over what we have there. Like, does this timing look okay? Are we all on the same page that this is what's going to be there?
Right.
The PowerPoint is whenever you have finalized that list.
Right.
And you're like, cool, now let's present this to the next level of people that need to know this.
Right. It's going to be interesting when this is all over to compare at least those two leaks specifically to see what comes through, but there's a lot of crossover anyways between those two.
Yeah, I get where that like podcast and like the more journalist side is coming from because they probably see the PowerPoint stuff. Like,
right.
That's the stuff they see.
Exactly.
There's a lot of time spent before they get to see that.
Yeah.
And this is just a thing where I'm like, this stuff just leaks. Like, it's unfortunate, and I'm very curious how that leaked out of Nintendo.
Yeah, that one doesn't make
a picture. It's a picture. And, like, did someone just leave it sitting somewhere that they shouldn't have? I mean, Nintendo's not a small company, so...
Right. But they seem to be pretty tight with that kind of stuff. I remember
it just takes one person, one paper sitting someplace wrong.
2 or 3 years ago, there was a leak about what the fuck was it called? Mario Maker. And it was basically the Teamsters or whoever was setting up took a picture at the show. And that makes sense because it's pretty close and things are getting set up. But compared to like the studios like Ubisoft, and I think, are these really leaks or are they just wanting to get information out there like that?
And that's totally possible. Like sometimes it is controlled leaks that they're just like, let's get the information out. Sometimes in bigger companies that do have just hundreds, if not thousands of employees, some of them might be contract, some of them might not care, some of them might just be like, who gives a fuck? I'm just gonna do this. I don't care about my employer. I want that
Reddit karma.
Maybe they just are an unhappy employee. Like,
yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of ways that this stuff can leak out, especially in bigger companies. Because I also saw it inside of EA when PopCap was there. They would you would learn something, and then there was sometimes within days the internet would know. And you're like, that was for private company. Oh, okay.
So
guess that doesn't matter.
You know that someone in that room or someone, you could narrow down who might have put it out there?
You can narrow down some, not a huge amount, but like not enough to point fingers at anyone specific, but like, oh, okay.
So based on all that experience that you've had in those meetings, in those rooms, like just a straight up, that first leak from Nintendo, that looks legit.
Legit enough, yeah. The only thing that really makes me go, is the flippin' world, Yoshi's Flippin' World.
Yeah.
And the Star Fox Racing.
Those are
the only two things on that list that made me go, I don't know. But we do know there's a Yoshi's game coming out. I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to call it Flippin' World. I mean, really, let's be honest. I would not put it past them.
Yeah.
As a US title for it.
Right. And with the mechanics of the game, it would make sense if you're flipping through the landscape or whatever.
And the Star Fox, I don't know. That one's just like, I kind of just groan at it. But with the other Star Fox stuff they've put out, would I be really surprised if they decided they're like, hey, here's a weird Star Fox game.
Let's try something else and see if it works.
Yeah. How about just try the thing everyone wants?
Yeah, without motion controls, please.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But actually they won't do that because, that failed. It's not because of the motion controls. It's just people didn't want that game.
Oh, of course. Right. They did. We love being told how to play our games.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Anyway, I'm sure there's some episode that I named Star Fox Zero that you can go back and listen to how much I fucking hated that game. And I beat it. I stuck with it and beat it, but goddamn. I went to GameStop and turned that shit in immediately. Got most of my money back, which was nice. Anyway, other announcements. Oh, one thing I was going to say about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Do you think there's any chance that Assassin's Creed Odyssey was the game they were going to launch last year, but then Super Mario Odyssey, they thought, let's switch this?
For the amount of time it takes to make these, no.
Damn.
That'd be super hard to do.
Maybe we'll see Super Mario Origins one of these days.
Oh, man. Here's the origin of the Mario Brothers.
Yeah, maybe I don't want that.
Wasn't that
I've
the
seen
movie?
The TV show. What?
Wasn't that the movie?
I thought it was a TV show that did the
origin.
Well,
the TV show did the origin. I'm pretty sure the movie did the origin, too. I mean, it's them as plumbers in New York.
Right. I can barely remember the movie. I just remember
that's a good thing.
They were terrible.
You can just take out the Goombas part. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
Do yourself. You should rewatch it at some point. Just live in that a little bit.
Should I? I have limited time, man. Do I want to spend it watching that?
Sometimes you want that pain.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe one day. When the kid's off to college or something.
There you go. No, whenever the kid's like 7 or 8, and you're like, watch this.
Oh, no, that's a good idea. Okay, you've been misbehaving, so here's your punishment.
You wanted to watch a movie? Okay.
Here you go. I have to watch with her.
And then joke's on you. They're gonna love it.
Oh, that would be terrible. I'm sure if the kid's anything like me, they would love it out of spite.
Yep.
No. See, did we talk about Anthem?
No, I mean, EA announced that, like everyone is expecting, they will be showing off Anthem stuff a week, like 6 days from now. So,
right, on Saturday.
Seems
like it's going to be a deep dive like Battlefront 2.
I assume it has to be.
Yeah.
Like this is you're starting to sell this game. You got to show why people want this one, because let's be honest, it's a semi multiplayer shared. I mean, it's their version of Destiny,
right?
So why is it better than Destiny? Why do we want this?
It makes me think that they're going to like just go hard on the story, because that's the thing that sucks about Destiny.
And this is BioWare, so.
Yes.
Show me your world building, your story, your characters, your dialogue. Like, are you really gonna live the I make this choice, I never can take it back now?
Right.
In an MMO, that's a true thing.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see if they're able to like pick up the mantle of Mass Effect. Not that they need to, but I don't know. They need a hit here.
Yeah. And it's the main team, so if anyone's going to do it, it's them. Like, if this doesn't hit, then I worry for BioWare as a whole.
Right.
As like, well, in the giant EA machine, are there the right people in charge of BioWare to keep them making the type of games that people want them to make and what they are classically known to make as good games? So, we'll see. I know there's another Dragon Age in there, so at least one more.
I heard recently a couple of the leads on Dragon Age are on Anthem right now, just doing writing leads at least.
Yeah.
Which makes me think the Dragon Age writing is maybe pretty far along.
I assume it would be pretty far along at this point.
Yeah.
Just from the year, how many years? It's been 4 years since Inquisition?
2014, I think. Inquisition came.
So it will be 4 years this fall.
Right.
So you have to think another Dragon Age is deep into development now, if not just content building. So I could see that they could shift writers around at this point. So we'll see. I want to be sold on Anthem. I really do. Like, show me that BioWare that I always loved. So
yeah, I have just the way that I think about that studio and games that you like if they nailed that, like, you could be like just so excited for that.
Yep.
And that's Q1?
Q1.
Yeah. So probably a March 22nd release or something like that.
Worked for Mass Effect, so.
Yeah. Oh, man. Mass Effect. That's one of my predictions. We'll get there. Might be a good transition, actually.
Yeah.
We've got 5 predictions.
So your first, I bet I can guess.
Fucking Mass Effect, just not remaster, but what's a remake? No. Remaster.
No, it's a remaster.
Yeah, remaster. They're not going to go back to Mass Effect 1 and change anything. They're just going to up-res it or whatever and just kind of clean it up a little bit. I think they're going to announce it. Let me rephrase that. I really want them to announce it. I think they won't, because I don't think they want to take any thunder away from Anthem.
No.
But
I want that. I want that on Switch.
Yeah, so do I. That's where I would buy it. And I haven't played any of the DLC. I played all 3 games, haven't played 1 second of DLC for any of them, so that's one reason why I'd like to replay the series with all that.
DLC is so good.
Well, there's
some of the DLC is very good.
Well, Shadow Broker was Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
Never played that. I heard that's the best of Mass Effect 2. I think the Citadel was Mass Effect 1.
No, Citadel was 3.
Oh, 3. Okay.
The ones that were part of 2. There were 2 kind of like, I think, story DLCs for 1. They were okay. They were still getting their feet wet on DLC at that point. Like,
yeah.
They were somewhat compelling scenarios. They didn't really tie into the overall story as much. Like, when you talk about Shadow Broker, it's very much continues the story of Mass Effect 2. And Citadel is very much let's do an extended goodbye to the series.
Mm.
They had a lot more emotion behind them. 2 went crazy with DLC, though. So Some of it's good. Like, I don't think there was necessarily a bad piece of DLC, but
it was uneven.
It was uneven. I want it. Give it.
Yeah. I think the odds are low, but I'm just going to keep holding out hope for that.
Yeah. Yeah, you want money. Just do it.
It's just, yeah, exactly.
It's free money. Free money.
It is free money. We all want it. We'll give you it. And I would just buy it straight up first day. I wouldn't wait for a sale. I would want that immediately. So that's my first prediction.
My first crazy one is I want to see a Breath of the Wild follow-up, Majora's Mask style.
God damn, that'd be great.
I don't think that's happening.
And unlikely, yeah.
But man, something, maybe? I would be happy. I think maybe it's just a DLC.
That'd be great.
Like a remix. Like a Breath of the Wild remix DLC. So you can just do a New Game Plus and it's a remixed world. Like,
oh my God, that'd be great.
I mean, so much of Breath of the Wild harkens back to the first Zelda. So when you could play Zelda with the mixed, what is it called? Can't remember the original name.
Is it when you wrote Zelda in as your name or something like that?
Yeah, and it changed where all the dungeons were. Like, the map's roughly the same, but how you progress through it is different. Right. I don't know. I want something like that, but...
That'd be awesome. I wonder if that would take away attention from some of the other titles coming up. People spending another season playing Zelda, but I would be all for that. I mean, why not? Majora's Mask came out, a year after or 2 years after?
Year and a half. It was fast.
Ocarina? Yeah. That'd be great. I wish that they would do that because goddamn, I keep thinking about that game.
Yeah.
I don't quite open it up, but I keep thinking about it. My next guess is that Microsoft announces PC access to like Xbox first-party games, using Game Pass. I think Game Pass is going to come to PC, and you'll be able to play if I have an Xbox account with games in it. If I have Game Pass on PC, I'll be able to play my Xbox first party games. That's my guess. So like Halo 5 I could play and whatever else.
Okay.
Kind of expanding the play anywhere thing.
Yeah.
But I think under the Game Pass moniker or whatever. So kind of doubling down the fact that you can still play Xbox games but on your PC.
Yeah. See if they can just sell some more software.
Exactly. So I think that's what's might happen. So that's my next guess. I would like that because I don't have to buy an Xbox. I can just use my PC to play my old games.
I'd be okay with that. I could just use my PC to play any of the Xbox stuff that I actually want. So,
right.
My next one on the Nintendo path is N64 Classic.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to do that with the controllers, but that seems likely.
Yeah. Oh, right. That stupid controller.
Well, because, all the consoles have been mini, but the controllers have been the same. So if that holds true with the 64, the console and the controller are going to be the same damn size.
It's true.
Unless they put the console in the controller. That might make sense.
You could totally do that. We'll see. I want to see it. The games themselves aren't like that huge size-wise.
Right.
So you don't need a huge amount of that big of RAM sitting in there holding the games. So flash chips. It seems the NES and SNES classics have sold gangbusters for them. Why not just continue it? Just do it.
There's no way they stop. Yeah, exactly.
I could see them stopping at GameCube.
Well, yeah,
just because of size of GameCube games. But who knows? Like maybe that size doesn't even matter anymore.
Or even by the time we get to that.
Yeah, that point.
Perhaps. Yeah. I would love a GameCube mini because that's the one Nintendo system I've never played. Like I totally was out of gaming at that point and never even touched it.
So I think I've missed. I enjoyed that one quite a bit.
It was like Luigi's Mansion,
Wind Waker originally.
Wind Waker original one. I'm missing one. Oh, Sunshine. Mario Sunshine. I've never played.
And there was a bunch of great third-party stuff for it as well. I'd have to dig out all this.
Racing? Was that on game? Diddy Kong Racing? Was that GameCube? Or was that? No, that was 64, wasn't it?
But I have no clue.
So I don't know. Yeah.
My Kong family of games is very limited in knowledge. So
you're not huge into platforming games.
I am not. I kind of grew out of platforming, unfortunately. Yeah. The most platforming I do is the more Metroidvanias.
Oh, speaking of that, you hear about that Yoku's Island Express on Switch?
No.
It's a Metroidvania pinball game.
Oh, God.
That apparently is really good.
Unsure. Okay. Of course, because you said it's pinball and Metroidvania. Of course it's going to be good. Why not?
It sounds crazy, but apparently, check out some reviews. It looks crazy.
Okay.
My next guess is a Nintendo one as well, and I think that they're going to announce a new Zelda remake for the 3DS.
Oh.
And I don't know which one that would be. It might be like a Game Boy, like they did with Metroid 2 to Samus Returns, some sort of Game Boy.
Oh, wait, because there's kind of those rumors about Link's Awakening.
Yeah, that's right.
Being the one. Like, if they redo one, Link's Awakening is the one.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that's true. Please be true.
I could see that getting the remake treatment.
Yeah.
Probably announced during the Treehouse, not on the...
yeah, I mean, it's just going to be something shown. It's like, hey, look at this. I'm like, okay. And yeah, and it will be out in a few months.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be out in something to wet your whistle before the big Switch games come out.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably going to happen.
I would think so. Oh, I would say it's a good guess. I don't think it's guaranteed, but I think with the way that Metroid was handled, it seems likely that they want to kind of bring those obscure franchise games back, even though just the ones that people didn't play a ton of.
Yeah, and I think it's sold pretty well. Samus Returns wasn't.
I think it did.
It charted on NPD 7, I think, or 8. Wish it would have been higher, but still, it's pretty good.
Now, my next one, to follow along the classic route, PS1 Classic from Sony.
Oh, God. That's crazy. I mean,
a game is like 600 megs. If they put a Final Fantasy on it, then it's like over a gig, but whatever. I just kind of feel I'm like, Sony wants in on this action, right? And there were so many good PS1 games.
Well, and there's such nostalgia for that system now.
Yeah.
Like, that and the PS2. Like, that'd be great.
PS2 is going to be very hard.
Yeah.
Then you're talking about DVD size games and...
Right. I don't think they'd go that far. But I think there's... For someone like me who'd never played the PS1 and is experiencing some of those games now through not emulation, but basically the Vita that has some of the PS1 games.
Yeah.
That'd be a good way for me to go back and play some of those games like Suikoden, I keep hearing a lot about.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, off the top of your head, let's say 10 games on the PS1 Classic. What would you want to see on there?
Well, what do I want to see or what do I expect? I expect Final Fantasy VII would be on there.
Mm-hmm.
They'll put one Final Fantasy on it. It will be 7. You will see Metal Gear Solid. What other ones would be huge that you would see on there? What good fighting game was on the PS1?
It was a Bushido Blade on PS1.
Oh, Bushido Blade, yeah. Blade would be a great one.
Tekken, maybe, was on there too?
Yeah, there was a Tekken on there. Big platformers were there, because they would do a mix.
Spyro or Crash or something?
Yeah, Spyro. Crash, of course. I mean, Crash is the launch title.
Right.
With it. Gran Turismo would be on there. Ridge Racer.
Man, I hope you're right. That'd be pretty fun.
There's just a bunch of just stuff. Like...
Well, if Intellivision is doing something in this vein, perhaps, then yeah.
And I'm even looking, I'm like, fine, let's say you put in a 64 gigabyte flash chip in it. Like, I'm sure at cost that's not that expensive. You can buy in bulk. So 64 gigs gives you plenty of room for a ton of games. Say you just put 20 on it. There you go. Done.
Sell for $100? Sell
it for $100.
Yeah. I can see that. That would be awesome.
Will it happen? I don't know. Probably not. But
I mean,
I think Sony is thinking more forward, but
yeah, that's true. Well, some people like John Ryan, I think it was in Europe, Sony Europe, was talking about how they don't really care about backwards compatibility because we're about moving forward or whatever else. Yeah. But we're all nostalgic people, man. Like, we want to play some of that old stuff, and just even if I don't know how often you played your SNES Classic, I haven't too much, unfortunately,
not
but
a ton.
I bought the damn thing anyways.
Which is weird, because I could have played Chrono Trigger on it.
Yeah. And here we are playing it on our 3DSs.
Yeah.
It's just so much easier.
Yeah, that's true. It's attached to my TV. And there's a lot of time I'm not spending around my TV right now. So.
Right. I got 2 more. I think you have two more. Well. Yep. This one's a quick one. I think that Assassin's Creed Odyssey is a Q1 2019 game. I don't think it's coming out this fall. I
could see that. Actually, I could see them wanting it to be out this fall.
Oh, me too. I
and
think
it's going to slip.
Oh, I see. But definitely possible. I think my feeling is that they maybe wanted it to come out in, November, like normal, but it's so crowded. You got Red Dead and Call of Duty. lots of big games that I think just having a little breathing room. Also, people who were sick of it being annualized and they were, thinking of Origins as a breath of fresh air, and now for them to annualize it again, I think maybe lose a bad taste. So I think they'll push it back. I think Division 2 will probably be their big fall game.
Yeah, I could see that. And I could totally see them doing Odyssey as trying to bridge it as like, yes, it's its own game, but it's kind of a continuation of Origin.
Yeah.
Like, just trying to make it feel less as like, oh, it's a whole new game every year. Like, no. Like,
well, I feel like that makes sense based upon what Yves Guillemot said, or I don't know how to pronounce, I think that's how you pronounce his name, was talking about how we can't wait to show you what we're doing more with Origins later this year. And bringing out Odyssey doesn't sound like you're doing more with Origins unless it's connected to the story in some way. But I don't know my history that well. Would the Greek stuff be before the Egypt stuff or the other way around?
I don't know. What's the year of the Egypt stuff? Origins?
Near zero, I thought. I thought it was like a couple centuries BC. Maybe a couple hundred years BC, my guess.
Yeah.
I've definitely played that game and I can't tell you because the story's not great. But the fucking game's awesome.
That's why.
Which is a rare thing for me to say.
Origins, when does it actually take place? 49 to 47 BC.
Yes. Nailed it. Within a couple hundred years.
Where's the Greek Empire? Oh, there's a bunch. Byzantine?
Yeah, so who knows when they would... Like Sparta and such. When was that? Sparta, Athens, Carthage.
Yeah, Sparta.
Corinth.
Earlier.
Oh, yeah. So that makes me think, how would it be connected to Origins? But that's the meta story of
Battle of Thermopylae is 480 BC.
So earlier.
Yeah, it's quite a bit earlier. It's hundreds of years earlier. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but the meta story is batshit crazy. So who knows how they would link all together? Or you don't even need to. But yeah, I think that I see it coming out next February or March. I think Far Cry 5 had a really good release in that window, so it's to get out of the crowd. Gamers are wanting to play all year long. So
yeah, then March is going to be super crowded anyway. So let's just be honest, it's going to be crowded all year, all the time now.
Push games to June, like Witcher came out in June. Assassin's Creed, no. Arkham Knight came out in June. Those are good times to release games, unless you're
until it's not
until everything's crowded.
Yeah,
it's just so saturated that it's hard to find a window. I think.
Another one I have, and this is going to be crazy. Just a tease, maybe just a logo or something. Horizon Zero Dawn sequel.
Wow, that's early.
Just a tease. Just to be like, yeah, we're making it. Because I think Guerrilla is making it right now, from everything I've heard and seen.
Do you think it's a PS5 game?
I don't know. There's part of me that wonders if they would just make a sequel quicker. Because I think the PS5 is still 3 years out. Actually, one of the guys talked at Sony said it was 3 years minimum.
That's right.
So, no. A sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn happens on the PS4. End of life PS4.
Right.
But
that's cool.
I don't think they wait. At that point, they'll be waiting 4 or more years until next one. I could see them doing a quicker sequel. In the same way of, we're not going to do completely redo our engine. We're going to just build another bunch of content because people like this game, and we can refine some of the systems, change them up, give people what address feedback, and make another compelling story.
Make Aloy be able to climb anything. Just
oh god,
make her be able to climb. That's just the one thing that frustrates the fuck out of me with that game.
Yep.
And it did not frustrate me in the 5 days that I played it before I played Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Either climb anything or very much limit the climbing more. And just say this is not a climbing game. Yeah, that halfway where you can kind of like jump and get up. Ugh. Okay, my last one is also Sony, and I think it's in a similar vein. And when I was writing this out, I wrote out Horizon Zero Dawn 2. I erased it, and I said Sony closes with a one more thing for Bloodborne 2. That is another one. That is actually my next one. I think what From has been teasing, because they teased something a bit ago.
Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah, I think that's Bloodborne 2.
Yeah. I mean, it's so popular.
Yeah, and it's time.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's my thought, is that's Bloodborne 2, and that's going to be out.
You think out this year?
No, I think next year. But yeah. I think they'll show more finally and be like, yeah, this is really Bloodborne 2. It's sold so well for Sony. I'm sure they're just like, guys, here's a bunch of money, make a sequel, please.
I guess it kind of skirts the Sony coming out and saying, we're only the games that we are going to show is going to be these 4, and of course our third-party partners are going to do other things, which would be FromSoft. I mean, I guess had technically like a second-party title, but
it's technically second-party. Well, no, it's still third. They're a third-party studio.
They're a third-party,
but they are being they have exclusive deal with Sony, but it's third-party. They could show whatever they want.
Right. Exactly. So that would bring the house down, I think. To end with that. So either one, end with Horizon 2 or with Bloodborne. I just feel like the way Sony's been going, they could show something that many years off and, be fine, because Death Stranding, for example, is...
Yeah, it's taken a while.
Yeah.
So if they show Death Stranding, does that mean it's out this year?
Did they say the stuff they're showing this year is going to be out this year?
I don't think so, but they wanted to... So. I thought they were trying to keep it more in line.
I think of the 4, only Spider-Man's out this year. There's no way Last of Us 2 is out this year.
That's true. And they're not going to show Days Gone, right?
No, that's basically getting the Game Informer treatment.
Right. No, you're right. None of that stuff's out this year then. It's all 2019 stuff.
Right.
Spider-Man is you're here this year, and the rest is probably 2019 or later.
Right.
Death Stranding can be out, I have no clue when.
My goal before E3 is to go and look at, watch all those Death Stranding trailers, just so I'm
You're going to be so confused. Just like the rest of us. They're so weird.
Maybe I understand as much as you guys without even seeing them.
Probably.
But one thing that's not confusing is Chrono Trigger, and we're in the end game, kind of?
I mean, it's basically we could beat the game. Well, you could have beat the game at any point previously, too.
Right.
But we are in the true in-game point. We can beat Lavos, and we will get an ending. There's the Black Omen is there. You could do the final dungeon.
And that's optional, right?
It's completely optional.
That makes no sense to me. I mean, whatever. It's in line with the rest of the game, but
yes,
I could skip the last dungeon and just go right to Lavos, which I could have skipped half the game and gone to Lavos anyway. So, let's name the side quests we did, and then we'll start talking about them. I did Frog's side quest, and I did Megus's side quest.
I did that, and Ozzy's Fortress.
Yep.
I did those 2, and then I did the Sun Temple.
Oh, nice. That's what I'm going to do after we're done recording tonight.
Which is not the hardest thing, I'll tell you that.
So pretty quick?
Yeah.
Even better, because I'm fucking tired.
It's following a path of, all these side quests in a lot of ways. The Sun Temple one specifically, and the Frogs and the Cyrus stuff, is very much, they're let's exploit the time travel now.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you spend a lot of time, and the time travel you spend a lot between is the 680 and the 1080.
Right.
Back and forth between those 2.
Yep.
But it's a really cool time to actually do it, because you can fly around anywhere.
It's so easy
Jump into time whenever you want to, and then really just exploit the fact that the game is about time travel.
Well, it's so great how these side quests are set up, where you have to have a particular person at the head of your party and be in a particular place.
That's the head of your party. That's the key part.
Exactly. Yep. Well, I went to Ozzy's Fortress because I was headed to Frog's side quest, and I saw Ozzy's Fortress. Hey, I want to go check out what's in there. And I walk in there with Frog in the lead, and I'm like, wait a second, is this one someone else's side quest? Because I think this is. So then I stopped. I X'd out of there and realized it was Megus's whole thing, so we came back later for that. But it's nice with Frog and with Megus, at the end of these things, you basically, with Megus, you got these souped up, you got this new scythe, new helmet, and new cape.
Yep.
And then with Frog, you got the Masamune, souped up Masamune.
Yep.
So it's, headed into Lavos. I think this is, going to make it a lot easier to beat that guy.
Yeah. Even though I doubt it's going to be that hard anyway, at this point.
Right. Yeah, especially with me, who is super over leveled.
What level are you?
40.
I'm 40.
40. Are you 40?
I'm 40, 41. Most of my characters.
Okay, I guess I'm not over level as I thought I was.
No, my other save game is at 50, so that is over leveled.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I really like. I think this is the part where there's a lot of stuff. Why I think nostalgia is going to be very strong with this game, and why it's continued to last as long. It ends on a high note. These are just generally fun things to do. That highlight the systems of the game, what the game's about.
It's the best part of the game for me.
Yeah.
Like, the story is cogent and concise. The characters are interesting. And, the quick reward of do this quick thing and get this awesome, sword or upgrade or whatever. But
deepens the overall character while you're doing it.
Exactly. I feel like the game's done a good job of building the characters over time, but this is just it's super concentrated. It's nice.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the Starbucks the other day and just plowing through those two side quests and just got lost. I forgot where I was at. I was like, wait a second, I'm at Starbucks. So yeah, they're really good. I'm definitely.
Wait, you don't drink coffee? Why are you at Starbucks?
Because it's my place to go when I get away. For the last 4 weeks, I've been going to a local coffee shop to grade. Like, if I'm there, I can grade. If I'm here grading, I've got to do the laundry or do something with baby or do some cleaning. If I'm gone, I don't have to do anything except for grade. So it's just become my routine now where I go. But the local coffee shop was closed that day, so I went to Starbucks. I got iced tea. And they looked at me very weird. And they said, what size do you want? I said, I want your large, whatever that is. So I got that and just sat down.
Okay.
But yeah, no, not a coffee drinker. No.
Yeah.
But
I would say if you're going to get coffee, why would you go to Starbucks?
Yeah, also that. Although I don't know.
I am the snooty Seattle coffee drinker.
Yes, you are.
Which is weird that Starbucks is here. And I'm like, no. Why would I go to Starbucks?
It started there.
It did start here. I was at Pike Place Market last weekend, and the first Starbucks in Pike Place is there, and there's so many tourists there.
Right.
God, the line was huge, and just people taking pictures. I'm like, I sigh every time. I'm like, seriously, just go one block out of the market to Seattle Coffee Works, and you'll get a far superior cup of coffee.
But it's not as trendy.
Yeah, whatever.
So last week we talked about how we were going to kind of dabble this week in the side quests and see what we thought about beating the game next week. But I think we're going to keep dabbling in these. I think I'm going to
try to finish a couple more of the side quests. I know from my other game, I've actually played one of the other ones. They get longer, these last couple.
Mm-hmm.
There's just more to them. So I don't know how many I'll get through, but I'm making it through the game quite a bit faster this time.
Yeah.
I'm about 6 or 7 hours under where my other save file is. So
I just hit 21 hours.
I'm at like 16, 17.
Nice. Yeah, you're pretty efficiently moving through.
So yeah.
I can just see why it was such a classic and still holds up today. It's just there's a lot of DNA of like current games in this game, like multiple endings, different characters kind of change what you're doing. It's not open worldish, but you can like think of like Breath of the Wild. Like at the beginning, you can just go beat the final boss. Chrono Trigger, you kind of could too.
Yeah.
Not immediately, but once you get to the end of the time, then you can. God, it's just
it's a good game.
Sticking with me. I'm really glad we did this because I probably wouldn't have stuck with it otherwise. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this. I think I don't remember when we started, like February maybe. We've been playing for a while.
Yeah.
It sounds like we'll probably beat it after E3.
If we don't beat it this week, I don't think I'll beat it this week, honestly.
I know I won't. Yeah, I won't for sure.
But I'll definitely play it on the plane while I'm traveling. So
then
I'll probably beat it then.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess that's our Chrono Trigger talk, and I'll talk off mic with you about what our schedule is for next weekend, actually. But before we get there, we have one more thing, which is other games that we're playing this week. Anything else you've been playing this week?
I played some Monster Hunter again. They dropped a new monster.
Oh,
I got my
Solara
ass
or
kicked.
something? Really?
So
Nice.
hard. Yeah, Lunastra.
Lunastra, that's it. It almost sounds
So
like Lunastra.
I started the quest to unlock the monster. I got presented Lunastra for the first time, and holy crap, am I not prepared for this. But yeah, the game's still really good. I saw that I don't have time for it right now, but
Yeah.
that twinge is in me. I'm like, oh man, I just want to sit and play this and grind and get these new things they announced starting, I think, next Friday, Thursday or Friday. There's now going to be like super hard monsters as well, like the next tier up. And you can get all sorts of new crazy crafting components and like gamma armor sets. So yeah, it's coming. They're bringing on the hard stuff now.
What a smart way to do that, where you only have to add a couple of monsters, but make sure they're super hard, so that you spend a lot of time grinding, I assume, to get up to where you can beat them.
Yep, learning the fight, but also grinding other monsters so you can build gear sets that you feel would be optimal for fighting this new monster. Because that's the whole thing with the game, and it's really fun, is that a lot of the gear is interchangeable. It's not like, oh, I have the best armor in the game. Like, you have the best armor in the game for a certain context, a certain fight. And you're like, oh, a new fight. So let me go look at all this armor I can craft again. What's the best gear I can equip for that fight? Oh, I don't have it? Well, let me go farm that up. So, I get the loop. I get the loop quite well. I'm after E3, I probably will dive back into it more once I'm home.
So a lot of after E3
yes,
notes.
For the most part.
Yeah, that's awesome. For me this week, now that finals are over, I resumed my Thursday night games with my friend Brad, and I asked if we could do something besides StarCraft, because just haven't had time to do the campaign, and I'd like to do more campaign before I do more multiplayer. So I said, why don't you compare our Steam libraries and see what we both have in common that would be fun to play, and you choose. I'll play whatever. So he chose Portal 2. I don't know if you've played the co-op.
I've never played the co-op.
Dude, it's fucking awesome. It is so good. The puzzles are smart. I mean, it's fucking Portal, man. It's just everything you love about Portal in co-op. It's just,
when Valve was making games.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's just brilliant. It's sublime. I don't use that word that often, but it's a sublime experience. And it just clicked. Like, we were both, it felt really good. We kind of hit like the flow state where it was not too easy, not too challenging, just right in the middle. And he was like solving half the puzzle, I'd solve the other half, and we'd inevitably fuck something up and do it all over again. And just we're laughing and just feeling accomplished. And it was such a great experience.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we played for about an hour, and we're going to play again this week at some point.
Awesome.
And the other game I played this week was I started Night War Battlechasers for the Switch. It came out a couple weeks ago, but it was like $40, and then everywhere else on the same day that it launched, they dropped it down to $15, and I was like, I can't pay that big of a Switch tax to play this game, because I wanted to play on the go. I've been like dying for a story-based RPG, like a quality one.
Yeah.
And this is one I decided I would try, and I wanted to wait for a better price. And Amazon finally had it back up for $25, and that was my go price. So I bought it, got it Saturday, put about an hour into it. It fucking looks stunning. Like it's based on that comic book from the 90s. Yep. Really
the
great.
graphics are amazing. I've seen it, and I played a bit of it at PAX last year.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, even playing, I was like, man, the attention to detail is insane.
It's so good looking. The story so far is really good. I like the overworld mechanics. It's almost like Mario 3 or Cuphead. More like Cuphead. Where you're going around the map and then you enter into a battle. It's turn-based. They have a really cool mechanic in the battles where, it's the same thing. You use mana to do a special attack or whatever. But when you do your normal physical attacks, you gain this, I think it's called overcharge. So it's like overcharge plus 10. And that basically adds free mana to your pool. So like if your mana is 100, you do an overcharge attack and you have plus 10. So your mana is 110, but the 10 is like a special mana that's only available for that fight.
Yep.
So it really encourages you to not just save your mana for the big fights, but to use them you basically use the special mana or lose it in that fight. It just like varies the. Sometimes I get stuck using the same smaller attacks because I know they'll work and save the mana for later. So it allows me to do some of the cooler moves. And it's exactly what I wanted on the Switch right now. It's going to be my game once Chrono Trigger is done. Nice. It's just this turn-based RPG. It's fun as hell. And I know there's some performance issues on the Switch in terms of frame rate and crashing. I haven't had anything yet. But the best thing about it, we were talking earlier about playing on the go. Kids asleep. I don't have shit to grade finally. I can, when she's down for a nap, I can turn on a game and play. And with the PlayStation, I turn it on, takes a couple minutes to turn on, and I load up the game, and then it inevitably has an update, and it takes forever. And by the time I get into a game, it's been like 10 minutes. With the Switch, click the button, I'm where I left off in seconds.
Yep.
And I know that rest mode does that for the PS4, but I'm having a weird problem where half the time in rest mode, when I turn it back on, my external hard drive has failed or something, so I have to
restart
repair. Exactly. So it's just I can get right in and then immediately in a second turn it off. It just those seconds matter right now, and it's just the 3DS and the Switch are both just where it's at right now for me until the kid's asleep for the night.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to playing more of that, but I'm going to hit Chrono Trigger after we record tonight and keep at Chrono Trigger until it's done, because I'm finally at a point where it's like, this is a game I don't want to put down.
Yeah.
So far it's been fun, but I can put it down and play something else. Now I'm just like, nope, I want to play this game.
I want to finish this.
Yeah, it's really good. So yeah, that's woo-wee. Yeah. That's our last episode before E3 basically starts next Saturday. So looking forward to it. Anything I was going to ask you, any way that you're going to be keeping up on the E3 news, but you're going to be there?
It's going to be weird while I'm there. I actually think you'll probably have better information than I will. During the day, at least. I assume I will get more information when I get back to my Airbnb at night.
Right.
And I will, let's see what news came out today. But while I'm there on the show floor, probably not. I'll just be looking at all the pretty things or being in meetings. So
yeah, that sounds pretty fun.
No, it will be great. I'll take pictures. I'll make sure I post them on Twitter and send them to you.
That's cool.
Because I'm sure it's going to be insane. We'll see if I just want to go hide outside for a while from sensory overload.
Yeah,
I remember that last time I went in 2006. That's what I felt like. After one point, I was just like, I have to get out of here. I cannot be in this place anymore.
Well, and 12 years later, it's got to be like exponentially bigger and louder and shit.
I don't think it's bigger. Well, they allow the public now, so I bet it's bigger. Yeah, that's true.
More people.
It's weird. They contain it though. It's 2006. It was only big and loud and huge because everyone is just trying to one up the person next to them, basically.
Right.
Which is dumb, but whatever. Got to see some cool things, so we'll see. We'll see what this is like. I think I'll do this, and then maybe I won't go back again for a while. But even then, I'm just there kind of for support. Make sure that nothing breaks with the build.
Right.
Or if it does, I can fix it, quickly.
Would you rather nothing happen and you basically were there and didn't have to support it, or would you rather have to fix
No, I don't want to support it. I don't want to do that.
You don't want it to be broken. Yeah.
Yeah, because think of the stress when you're trying to fix the problem, right
in the moment.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, don't do that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be playing enough over this next week, and with everything that will work out all the bugs. I think we've got a pretty solid thing so far. So
Nice. Well, good luck with the final stretch. Next time we talk to you, it'll be go time. So good luck, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
And thanks everyone for listening. This was episode 142, slowly creeping up on 150. I am at Prof Plays Games. He is at Summer Speak. Again, if you like us, please rate us. Really enjoy all the downloads and all the people listening to our voices. So keep it up, and we will too.
All right. Later, everyone.
Night, folks.